Hi students, this is Sailaja of Computer Science Department, and today in this video we are going to learn a new concept, PLSQL. So let's see the objectives of this lesson. We are going to learn what PLSQL is and what is its structure, with the data types and operators that exist in PLSQL, the operators precedence, decision making statements, iterative statements using examples. So these are our lesson objectives. So let's see what PLSQL is. So to know what PLSQL is, we have to know the limitations of SQL. So limitations of SQL are, we don't have any kind of decision making in SQL, right? We never came across any such programming constructs in SQL. So in order to embed such programming constructs in in SQL, PLSQL is introduced. PLSQL stands for procedural language. SQL is structured query language. So in PLSQL, we'll have programming constructs like decision making statements, loops, right? So exception handling. So we're going to have such programming concepts in PLSQL. All right. So let's see the syntax of PLSQL. The syntax of PLSQL is we have a structure. It's called a block. That block has three different parts. It's divided into three different sections: declare, begin, and exception. In the declare section, we declare all the variables. In begin, all the executable statements, that is all our SQL statements, we write within begin section. And exception is an optional section. If you want to write any exception handling statements, we write within exception section. Right. So what are the various data types that exist in PLSQL? So it's no different from SQL. Whatever the data types that we have already learned in SQL, we are going to learn the same thing or do the same thing, use the same thing in PLSQL. So basically we have numeric, character, boolean data type and large objects. So number data type is nothing but numbers, number format data types and number format values are all they all come under numeric data type. All the strings or characters, they come under character data type like char, var, char2, raw, long, and all such kind of data types. And date data type specifies a date format, and large object is generally used to store large values, values that occupy large space, like for example videos and audios, they require large space, so we use large object declaration for such variables. Coming to operators, what do you mean by an operator? An operator is a symbol which has some specific meaning, which performs certain operations on operands. Right, every operator has a special meaning, and it is intended to do certain task or operation on operands. So just like how we do in C and Java, other programming languages, we have similar type of operators, or the classification of operators, we do it in a similar way in PLSQL as well. Arithmetic, relational, comparison, logical operators, right? So you know what arithmetic operators do? They're generally used for computation purposes. Relational operators, they are used for comparison purposes. Comparison is again a comparison operator is when you are trying to match a pattern, or when you want to check within a range, values within a range, we go for comparison. And finally, logical operators, which are and, or not, we use them to combine expressions. All right, so logical operators are used to combine expressions, multiple expressions, and evaluate a boolean value based on the condition. All right, so every operator has a kind of priority given. That is nothing but we call, in programming languages, we call them as operator precedence. That means in an expression you can have number of operators. So how actually the evaluation process happens? It depends on the priorities that are set to each operator. So depending on the operators precedence, that is the priority of the operators, the expression is evaluated. So you can see in this particular table, the one which is topping the first row, it has the highest priority, and the least will be the last one. Least priority one is the last one. And if you find two or more operators lying in the same level, that means all of them have the same priority. Within an expression, the expression is considered from left to right. Whichever comes first, that will be evaluated. All right. If you have expressions of this same level, all right, same priority. Fine. So this is the operator precedence. Next, decision making statements. What are decision making statements? Decision making statements and loops, we generally require, it's just not retrieving the data from the database. What do you do with SQL and select statements? Generally we actually retrieve the data from the database. After retrieving the data, you want to make some decision on the data you extracted or you retrieved, right? In order to do that, we need to have certain kinds of decision making statements. So the decision making statements in PLSQL are of two types, which is if else and case. All right, they sound very familiar, I guess, for you. If else, we have in if else we have several other types of if else. So if we talk about if statement, we'll just see the syntax of if statements first. If we give a condition, then if this condition is true, then the statements within the block gets executed, right? So this is the syntax. So the components or the new things that you have to learn is in the declare section, we are declaring a variable, the data type, and assigning a value. You understood what it means? The variable name, its data type, and colon equal to, we use colon equal to in order to assign. The assignment operator in PLSQL is colon equal to. All right, then we say, and the assignment happens. So in the begin, we write all the executable statements if condition, whatever the condition you want to write. So if you are checking which number is greater among these two variables, so we give a condition. If this condition is true, this statement gets executed. If the condition is false, then it comes out of the end if, and here in this particular case you don't have an else part, so it's immaterial if the condition is false what to do. So we are not bothered if the condition is false what to do. We are just sticking to if the condition is true, how do you do it and what to do. All right, so the things that the takeaways from this program is you should know how to declare a variable. So this is the syntax of declaring a variable. This is the syntax of initializing a variable. And dbms underscore output dot put underscore line is the print statement or output statement in PLSQL. All right, dbms underscore output is the package name and put underscore line is the method. Right, so we're going to give whatever that has to be printed, we give within this method put underscore line. I just read out this line and I want to tell you how it gets printed. See, whatever that's put in the single quotation gets printed as it is, and this is nothing but a concatenation operation followed by the variable name. That means we are going to print the value within the variable but just not y. All right, again a concatenation, we are concatenating with a string here, string constant. We are concatenating with a string constant. Again we are concatenating with a value within a variable. So what gets printed? Result colon y's value is 80, result colon 80 is greater than 10. So that's how it gets printed. All right. So the next decision making statement is if then else. So if the condition is true, what to do? If the condition is false, then it is handled in the else statement. So if you want to check whether the given number is even number or not number, so how do you do it? So we check, see, this is the condition. If this condition is true, it prints as even number, otherwise odd. So another thing here you have to observe is we have used an ampersand symbol here. So what does it mean? Now this is a dynamic initialization. So earlier we have just assigned a value at the time of declaration. Suppose if you want to dynamically, or if you want to do it at runtime, if you want to assign a value to the variable at runtime, just like the scanf in C and scanner in Java, how they work. So it works similar to that. Okay, so ampersand is, it takes a value dynamically. A mod is a function which is used, which gives a reminder when the value of x is divided by 2. Alright, so the next is if then else if. This is something like nested if then if else. Okay, this is something like nested if else. So you have one if in another. Right, so let's see here. If you can see here, we are actually printing, in this case we want to print which number is greater among these two numbers. Is A greater than B, or B greater than A, or both are equal? Okay, we are checking that. So we write a condition else if. So the takeaway from this particular program is you have to be careful while writing else if. There is no E between, it is ELSIF. Alright, so a condition followed by then, and whatever the executable statement you want to write, you write within the block. Alright, so this is if block, this is else if block, and this is else block. So you can have nested if else. Alright, so the next decision making statement is case. Just like switch case. Switch case, what it does? It actually does, it checks against one particular value, and whichever case matches that particular statement with the statement within that particular case gets executed. So it's similar to that. So if you in this this program is written to print whether the given number is even, odd, or if it is a 0, you know, it is neither considered odd nor even. So then we say user has not given any input value to check. Or sometimes even without giving an input value, if I try to check, then you're going to give this kind of message. All right, so you see here, it's a case. It starts with a case and it ends with end case. So the block is between case and end case. So when 0, so earlier we used to write switch case, right? So it is case when it is 0, then what to do? If that case, if the case is 1, that is B value is 1, then what to do? If nothing matches, no case matches, it directly jumps to the else and prints what or does whatever it's written against else within the else block, right? Just like a default in switch case. All right, so just take care of the syntax. Then next we will learn, or we'll see what iterative loops are in iterative statements we have in PLSQL. See, whatever the iterative statements that we have learned until now, like in C and Java, it's pretty much similar to that, but the only difference is the syntax of it. So just like in C, you know, you have while, do while, and for. Even here in PLSQL, we have all those three, but the syntax and the way you write just differs. So we have basic loop, while loop, and for loop. So every loop starts with loop in basic loop and ends with end loop. All the executable statements are put in between loop and end loop. So this is the loop block. Alright, so this is the loop block. We are trying to print numbers from 1 to 10. So loop, as soon as it enters the loop, it's going to check for the condition. If there is a condition, if the condition turns false, we are exiting the loop. Look, we use the word exit. That means it's going to come out of the loop, end of the loop, and finally the program ends. So this program will run until this condition is true. Once a condition is false, that means this particular condition, if I is greater than 10, it's going to come out of the loop. Alright, so here in this particular case, we are checking the condition as soon as we enter inside the loop. But look here, in the next example, it works like your do while. We check the condition to the end. So when we are actually checking the condition to the end, we have to use when. Okay, exit when. exit when is used here, it like that of your do while. So even in your do while, you remember, you give the condition to the end. While condition we give to the end. Similarly, exit when x is greater than 10. So we are checking the condition towards the end. So that means this loop gets executed at least once, even if this condition is not true. All right. So the next is a while loop. A while condition, loop and loop. So you can see always it is between loop and end loop. All the executable statements of the block will be written between loop and end loop. Okay, if the condition is true, it's going to come into the loop. Once a condition is false, it will not enter into the block while block, and it's going to come out of the while block. All right. Next, for loop. For loop is what? In for loop we have two variations. One is we're going to increment the values from the start to the end, and the second variation is we are going to start from the end to the beginning. That is, if you want to print something in the reverse or decrement, if you are trying to decrement values, we go for reverse. If you are trying to increment values, we go from small. Look here, in this particular case, I'll tell you. For I, in is the word we use. We specify a range. How do you read it, or how this Oracle engine reads? It reads as I is initialized value 1 and it runs up to 10. Alright, again we write a loop. So in this particular case, see the second example, if you want to print the number in the reverse order, what do? I'll write the range from 1 to 10, but this time I say reverse. So it gets I first gets initialized by 10 first, and then with every time the loop runs, the value of I gets decremented. Okay, in such a way we'll get whatever the desired output Our desired output is what we want to print in the reverse order. All right. So we have seen the limitations of SQL in this particular video. We have understood the various data types, operators, and the precedence of operators in SQL, PL/SQL. All right. We have seen decision-making statements, iterative statements. We have seen certain examples. So using examples, we have learned various programming constructs in PL/SQL. All right. So if you want any kind of detailed notes, you can please refer to PL/SQL_intro.pdf. All right. So thank you for watching this video.